Yeah, that sure will help things, won't it? Well, I was at the dump yesterday. Whoa, back out there, George. And my son and I picked up this. Let me slide over a little bit so I get a better shot at it. Alco Alice riding mower. And it was evidently used at a cemetery. And it was sitting on the side of the metal dumpster. So I asked the fellow when I went in to pay for my 2 bags of rubbish that I was hauling in if we could take it. And he said, sure. And he said, I can tell you what's wrong with it or what it's missing. Well, as it turned out, it was one that he had picked up and he scavenged it for parts. He took the starter off it. You can see the starter is missing right there on the side of the motor, and I think I have a starter that will bolt on there. And he said he took the solenoid off it. He said the transmission is junk in it. So I said, well, that doesn't matter. I said, do you know if the motor is any good? He said, I don't know. I never even tried to start it. So what I'm hoping is that I can get this motor running halfway decent. And if it does, this motor will go into another mower that was given to me recently by the Owen family. You remember the Owen family? They came to visit and we showed them down on the model railroad layout. Well, let me show you that other mower. Now you get a promise not to complain about the cold and the snow. Yeah, it's snowing. And the cold, it's down around 9 degrees out here right now. But this mower, everything on it works, but the motor is seized up. So all it needs is a motor. And in fact, Mr. Owen told me that this one works better than the one that he bought to replace it. So we're hoping that out of the 2 mowers, we can make one good one. Hold on to your hats and let's see if we get this other one running. Okay, well, I've been putting the starter in and put some gas in the tank. I don't know if the tank is going to work or not, but I'm getting ready to shut the heater off because it's almost 30 degrees. And that's warm enough for now. And we don't want all the background noise either. I'm using my new fluid head from the dump tripod. Oh, another thing from the dump I forgot to mention before. Check out the crash helmet. And right below it, a Texas license plate. Pretty cool, huh? All right, but that's not what this is about. Come on, George. You're getting off track. Let's get back on to what we're doing. Now I'm using another dump find. This is a battery that I had picked up probably 2 or 3 months ago now and charged up. And it's been sitting in my cabinet. And there it is, just a little one. Kind of like a motorcycle battery or something. And I haven't tested anything other than I do know the starter will turn over now. So let's see what happens. I'm going to dump some gas in the carburetor just to give it a shot just because. Shut the heat off. Put the license plate up there so it don't fall off. I wonder if maybe I should check the oil, huh? It says that, but it's got oil in it. So we're going to give it a try here. I'm gonna squirt the gas right into the carburetor. And I use 40 to 1 or 50 to 1, whatever it is, my mixed gas. Now he took the solenoid out, he said, so I don't know if my ignition is hooked up or not, but we'll turn it on and let's give it a try. Yeah, well, it starts. Let me give it a little more throttle here. See if it'll pull itself off. Think that might have something to do with why it ain't running out of the carburetor? Yeah, there was gas in the, gas, there was water in the gas too. Let me show you the gas that was coming out of the tank. You see that? Yeah, lots of water in there. So we'll get that float bowl cleaned out and give it a squirt of carburetor cleaner up in the needle valve, get that cleaned out a little bit, and see if we can't get it to run on its own. Okay, let's give it another try, see what happens. I've got a temporary gas tank up there. Well, we know it runs anyway, and that's the main thing. I don't want to get into playing games with the carburetor and all that stuff right now, because I'm going to strip this whole thing right down to nothing. The motor that is in the other mower is a 14.5 overhead. This is a flathead, but the difference in power between the two won't be enough to make it that much of a difference. Well, this old man's tired. Time to go in. And temperatures are dropping again. I haven't had the heat on. You'll see I have a pile of brackets and nuts and bolts and a muffler and my tools and everything else down there in a pile. And you'll see that the body is pretty much off of the frame, and most notably the motor is gone. It's not gone, it's here. I just not more than 5 minutes ago lifted it off the frame right there. It'll probably get stuck out in the shed until earlier in the spring. I'm not going to mess with trying to change motors now. I do have to finish stripping down the frame because I want to be able to scrap out what I'm not going to keep. A lot of good stuff on it. 4 wheels and tires are all good, and I may save the front axle out of it. I'm not sure. Lots of linkages and handles and all that kind of good stuff. Steering shaft. Basically, when I'm done with it, it's going to be a frame. I will separate the rear axle from it, transaxle, just for making it easier in transporting it and for me to be able to lift it. But at this point, it's pretty much a matter of 4 bolts to lift the frame off of that transaxle. I think most of the linkage is even disconnected. And the mower deck is out in the snow. Speaking of which, I'm going to have to be doing some plowing tomorrow. Yep, we're supposed to get anywhere between 6 and 10 inches. And last time I looked out there, it looks like we've got about 3 or 4 now, and it's supposed to keep on going overnight. So I'm ready to call it a day. And before I finish this video off, I have one more thing I want to show you. A little bit of shaky cam work here. Hand cam. I have my pulley mounted, and it's not welded together yet, but I turned it out a little bit more so it fits snugly on this piece of steel tubing. And so I will be welding this. I'll probably put a tack here and a tack on the back side, and then I am going to also tack it here, right down in here on this pulley. These pulleys here will get welded together too. I will not weld this spacer. I'm going to leave it separate. But these two pieces here, which are flipped around, the tubing and this pulley will all be welded together solid. And then once I do that, I will take my set screw out of here and I will drill through this tubing, and then I will put a flat spot on the crankshaft, even if I have to just do a little bit of work with a file or a grinder or something just to put a flat spot on it. So anyway, thought you'd like to see that progress. It's been sitting like this for a week or more. I just haven't had time to get out here. And as you're seeing, I've been doing other things. Thanks for watching, for commenting and subscribing. Stay warm and dry. It's getting snowy out here and cold. There's the last parting shot for the evening. Yes, sirree, Bob. That's where I'm headed, back into the house. Have a great evening. Bye now.